My name is Rusty Maddox, and I'm a member of Grace and have been for 4 years, my family and I. Our faith has grown so much from back when we started coming to Grace 4 years ago. And to just kind of take you back and give you a little bit of my life story and my wife's. We both grew up in Gwinnett and grew up with pretty solid families. Personally, grew up in church, but never really had that relationship with Christ like we do now. Was saved and baptized when I was 14, but it was more of a requirement. It wasn't something that I volunteered for. And candidly, I didn't know what I had done. So from there, really, because of the lack of the discipleship, I immediately went back to my destructive ways. Prior to being saved and baptized, I was leading a destructive life, drinking alcohol, doing drugs, sex, you name it, and everything for me kind of started at an early age. And the way that I grew up and the way that I lived my life as an adolescent kind of carried over into our marriage. We got married at a very young age, and boy did we have a lot to learn, and we learned it most of the times the hard way. I was diagnosed with a disease when I was 17 years old, and the disease would kind of come and go. And as I got older, the disease would rear its ugly head more often, and the bouts with the disease tended to be longer and deeper and just more drawn out. But eventually, in 2000, 2001, it did break me. The disease had me literally on my hands and knees and had me crying out for God to change me. And He did. They say be careful what you ask for, and so you know, I asked for Him to change me, and He did. I mean, literally, that life of destruction that I was leading, it stopped. I had an aunt and uncle that bought me an awesome book while I was in the hospital, healing and you know, healing physically and trying to heal spiritually and relationally with my wife, my kids, my family, my friends. And then it was, you know, getting into God's Word. I was given a Bible, started reading it, and literally read the whole Bible. And the more I read it, the more it just drew me closer and closer to God. And it changed my life. I mean, it literally, the more I read the book, the more I read the Bible, the more it changed my life, and the more it convicted me. And from there, it was just a series of phone calls and lunch appointments and you know, times with Kim and my family and friends of just asking for forgiveness and asking them to you know, continue to love me in spite of what I had done, in spite of the things I have said or did say. And to my surprise, everybody really was there for me and encouraged me. And you know, even though the damage I had done to my relationship with my marriage with Kim, she was willing to hang in there with me after begging and pleading with her to give me an opportunity to change. And I knew that I had asked her to bear with me before and that I would change, and of course I didn't. But this was real. I mean, it was a true feeling of having the Spirit in me. Over the last few years, Kim and I have had the privilege of growing our marriage here at Grace, and to even go deeper, we signed up for Core Couples. And the Core Couples was just great. We learned so much about each other. We grew closer to one another through that entire process of Core Couples. And obviously we grew closer to God because it is a Christ-centered course. What's so ironic is now we are involved in Marriage 911. We're actually facilitating this class, which is a class for couples that are in crises. Their marriages are near failure, and Kim and I were pretty much in that same situation back in 2000, 2001. So it's very ironic that God is using our situation, our marriage that almost failed, and has restored and is growing and nurturing and blossoming and blessing just enormously. So we're very excited about being able to help other couples, and through Marriage 911 and through the process that Kim and I went through and through our restoration, we're hopeful that we'll be able to kind of pay it forward, if you will, and help other people restore their marriages.